Today, let me share with you a life-changing story that will teach us a valuable life lesson. Watch it till the end to change your life for good. It all started with a whisper, a rustling of leaves, a hurried conversation between two small creatures, a careless assumption that would set the entire forest agloom. Squirrel darted through the treetops, her tail flicking anxiously. She had seen something shocking. When she spotted Sparrow preening on a branch, she wasted no time. "Did you hear what I just saw?" whispered Squirrel as she scurried up to Sparrow, her tail twitching with excitement. Sparrow fluffed her feathers. "No, what happened?" Squirrel glanced around before lowering her voice. "I saw Wise Owl sneaking into the farmer's barn last night. I don't know what he was doing in there, but it can't have been good." Sparrow gasped. "Wise Owl? The one who tells us to stay away from humans and their traps? Just wait until I tell Rabbit." By midday, the forest was buzzing with whispers. "I heard he was stealing food from the farmer's storage. Someone said he made a deal with the humans. Imagine a creature like that calling himself wise." The story spread through the trees, from the burrows to the riverbank. Soon, even the elder animals began to murmur. Later that evening, the council of the forest gathered beneath the great oak. The elder deer stepped forward. "We cannot allow someone untrustworthy to guide the young ones. Wise Owl must leave." The next night, as the moon rose, Wise Owl flew to the great oak, unaware of what had been decided. "I have come to share my wisdom," he began, but the elder deer interrupted. "You must go, Owl. We know about the barn. The forest cannot trust you anymore." Wise Owl tilted his head. "The barn? What about it?" The council murmured among themselves. "The whispers say you took food from the farmer," said Fox. "I took nothing," Owl said slowly, his golden eyes scanning the animals. "I went to the barn to chase away the rats who were eating the farmer's grain. If they eat too much, the farmer will set out traps. I was protecting the forest." A heavy silence fell over the gathering. Squirrel shifted nervously. But, I saw you go in." "You saw me," Owl said, "but you didn't see the truth." Murmurs rippled through the gathered animals. Owl scanned the crowd, creatures he had taught, guided and protected for years. Now they looked at him as if he were a stranger. The elder deer stepped forward, sorrow in his ancient eyes. "The trust is broken, Wise Owl. Even if the truth is different, the fear has already taken root." The council of the forest had made its decision. Accused of betrayal, Wise Owl was banished. Without argument, without pleading his case, he spread his wings and disappeared into the night. And the forest moved on. At first, the animals felt justified. Justice had been served, order had been restored. But soon, things began to change. Days later, the truth surfaced. The farmer's son was overheard talking to his dog. "That old owl sure saved our grain," he said. "If it weren't for him scaring off the rats, Father was going to put out poison. Now we won't have to." The animals in the forest fell into uneasy silence. Squirrel and Sparrow sat on a low branch, their usual chatter gone. "This all started with us, didn't it?" whispered Squirrel. Sparrow tucked her head under her wing. "Yes, and now no one can undo it." And deep in the forest, where Owl's wisdom had once guided them, the nights seemed just a little darker. The nights became dangerous. With Owl gone, the rats returned, their numbers swelling. They gnawed through tree roots, stole food from burrows, and left destruction in their wake. The farmer noticed his grain vanishing and set traps, not just for rats, but for anything that wandered too close. Sparrow lost 2 of her cousins when they unknowingly pecked at poisoned seeds. Squirrel barely escaped a trap but not before it snapped shut on her tail, leaving it torn and shortened forever. Even Fox, cunning as he was, had a close call with a snare hidden beneath the underbrush. He limped for days, the deep cut on his leg, a painful reminder of their mistake. Fear spread through the forest. The once thriving community of creatures became restless, wary. They no longer moved freely, no longer felt safe under the stars. The darkness that Owl had once watched over now belonged to unseen dangers, and as the silence stretched each night, the animals felt the absence of his golden eyes. They hadn't just banished a creature, they had banished their own protection. One night, as the animals gathered beneath the great oak, a realization settled over them like a heavy fog. "We were wrong," murmured Rabbit. "We need him back," whispered Squirrel. "But will he return?" asked Badger. There was only one way to find out. Sparrow, the fastest among them, was sent on a journey beyond the treetops. She flew for 3 days and 3 nights, searching for the one they had cast out. She found him in the lonely woods, perched silently on a twisted dead tree. The land around him was barren, no lush greenery, no warmth of home. He did not move as she approached, only stared out at the endless horizon. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his voice hollow. Sparrow swallowed hard. "We were wrong," she admitted. "Everything is falling apart, the traps, the poisons. Without you, the forest isn't safe anymore." Owl's golden eyes flicked toward her, unreadable. "And now, you come to me?" Sparrow hesitated. "Come home," she pleaded. Owl was silent for a long moment. Then, with a powerful beat of his wings, he took off. Not toward Sparrow, not toward the forest, but into the endless sky. He was gone. Sparrow returned alone. The animals waited for nights, hoping to see Owl's dark silhouette against the moon once more. But he never came back. The rats continued to take over. The farmer, growing desperate, expanded his traps. The poison spread. The forest, once full of life, grew quieter, emptier. And deep beneath the great oak, where Owl's wisdom had once echoed, there was nothing but silence. Squirrel sat by the roots, staring at the empty branches above. "This all started with us, didn't it?" she murmured. Sparrow tucked her head under her wing. "Yes, and now, no one can undo it." The animals of the forest learned something that night, but they had learned it too late. They had always feared the dangers they could see. The farmer, the traps, the things that lurked in the dark. But the real danger had been their own words. It was not a snare that had doomed them. It was a whisper. Some mistakes don't just hurt others. Some mistakes can never be undone. You see, friends, words are powerful. A single careless whisper can ruin lives. Be sure of the truth before you speak. Sometimes the damage caused by a lie can never be repaired, even if the truth comes out. Gossip is like fire. It starts small, but can quickly spread beyond control, destroying lives and relationships. Before you speak, ask yourself, is it true? Do you have all the facts, or are you assuming the worst? Is it necessary? Does sharing this information help, or does it only create harm? Is it kind? If the person you're talking about were standing beside you, would you still say it? The animals of the forest learned too late that rumors have consequences, but you don't have to. Choose your words wisely. A single whisper can change everything. Thanks for watching. Always stay blessed.